What's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. If you're new here, I'm Dirt, this is Shatterproof Leather, and we are so glad that you joined us today. We're going to be doing something a little bit outrageous. We're going to see if we can make a multi-tool for leatherwork. The one and all tool. The tool that you can do anything with. You can make anything. Well, maybe not anything, but we're going to see if we can make a tool that we can use on pretty much every project. Let's give it a whirl. There we go. Now you may be thinking, a leather working multi-tool? I've never heard of such a thing. And it's true, neither have I. And that's why we need to make this happen. So we're gonna start by using this here Japanese skiving knife. This is gonna be the base of my build. We're also gonna need needles. We got a couple needles here. We're gonna have to put those attached to this because that's how we're gonna have to sew. Because, you know, I can't attach my sewing machine to the tool because that wouldn't work very well. We're also going to want to attach a burnishing stick of some sort, or maybe turn this handle into a burnishing stick. That way we can burnish our edges after we've got them stitched up and cut, and definitely a scratch off. So these are the tools we're going to work with here, and let's see if we can make a really sweet multi-tool for leather crafting. Alright guys, so the first thing we're going to do is attach our scratch awl to the handle of our skiving knife. Safety first, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe coffee first, safety second. Now you might be wondering, do I just always have a grinder under my bench? Yeah, pretty much. So there it is, we've got our scratch awl. Now we just need to attach it. I've got a hole drilled on the back side of our multi-tool. I've got our scratch awl, and I went ahead and rounded the edges with my sander just so it'll slide in easier, and we're just gonna put a dab of glue in there. That way it stays nice and snug. So there it is. It looks pretty sweet. This is probably gonna be a pretty dangerous tool. We got hair popping sharp over here. This thing will stab you. I think the next thing we're gonna do is add our burnishing slots. So what we're gonna do is basically groove in a couple different sizes, kind of like my burnishing stick here. This is my older one, and it just has a different size slot. Well, the drill didn't do us very good because the drill is designed to drill in. We just need a half circle on the top of this handle. So I think I'm gonna break out the old carving knife, and we'll see if we can't carve out some nice grooves and then sand them to make them nice and smooth so we can get a good burnish on them. It's gonna take a little bit longer, but that's the way she goes, I guess. I actually carved a wood fish one time with my old man. We sat out on the porch one night. Actually, I think it took a few nights, and carved out a fish. It was pretty cool. I wish I could find that. I have no idea where it's at. Alright guys, so we've got our burnishing grooves cut out in the handle and they work pretty well. So I got a good purchase on it. I've got a nice big one all the way down to a small one to where we could burnish a single piece of leather. And I think with the big one, we'd actually be able to burnish probably 4 pieces of 3.5 ounce leather, which is awesome. Now, the next thing we're gonna be doing is I'm gonna get a storage location for some needles. I think what we're gonna do is drill a hole through the center of the handle here. That way we can store our needles. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do for a lid yet, but we'll figure that out when the time comes. Hopefully the tang of this here skiving knife doesn't go too far up, causing a problem when we go to drill the hole for these needles, because it will go pretty far down, about 3/4 of the way down the handle. So let's give it a whirl. Hopefully we don't split the handle. So I've got my hole drilled for my needles. They're stored in this nice little compartment here. And I was thinking about how I'm gonna plug that hole. That way my needles aren't falling out while I'm using my scratch awl or my knife. I have these little foam brushes. It's got like this really soft, probably pine or cedar wood handle. I think I'm gonna cut a chunk off and kind of carve it down and just kind of stick it in there like a cork, and hopefully that'll work. I was thinking, how can I attach some thread to this? That way I can just grab this tool and do a project start to finish. So I think what I'm gonna do is cut a groove around the neck of the handle here, and that way I can just wrap some thread around it, you know, a couple foot of thread. That way I have some in case I want to build a wallet or something on the go. Let's get this thing stained up and looking pretty. For this, I'm definitely gonna want to put the apron on. I'm just gonna be using a dark brown leather stain. No idea how well it's gonna take to the wood, but hey, we're gonna find out. Alright guys, well here it is. What a fun project. So I ended up staining the handle, and then I did kind of a burn on it a little bit, as you guys saw with the torch, just to kind of make it look rustic. We got a nice Japanese skiving knife here, which we can use for a lot of things. We can cut, we can skive, we can trim our edges before we burnish, and then of course we got scratch awl. You guys know my favorite tool, hands down, right there, the old scratch awl. And then we got 1, 2, 3, and 4 burnishing sizes here on the side of the handle. So we also have a couple needles in here. So we've got some needles in the back of the handle here with our little stopper, and then we've also got some thread. I think with this tool we could probably complete a project start to finish. So I might have to give that a whirl. That being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, I'm for you. Stay shatterproof, stitch straight. You guys have a wonderful week. We'll see you on the next video.